Hello everyone and welcome to District on Demand. I'm your host Nick, and last night we got a pretty exciting 3-0 victory, 3 points for DC United over Charlotte FC. Great way to open the season, our home opener and the season opener. Great way to start off the season. I'm really happy with the 3 points. We did do a watch along. We live streamed my reaction as the game was going on, which is on YouTube. It'll be linked into the description. You probably won't want to watch that, but it's the full 2-hour long stream that we did on Twitch. Basically, we watched the game together. I had my thoughts on the game. You guys shared your thoughts, and now we're here for our match review and our match reaction. By the way, all future watch-alongs will be streamed on this YouTube channel, so make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications for the next match, FC Cincinnati away, which should be a pretty interesting one and a pretty telling match. Now let's get on to the review for this game. I did write down some notes as the game was going on and afterwards. We have player ratings after I do this overall sort of review of the match, which is what you see on your screen here. Bill Hamid's over there. We're going to get through some of our player ratings. But I think overall, to be honest, Charlotte deserved the first half. I think they deserved to be leading going into halftime, and I think we got pretty lucky on our goals. First goal, penalty. Now, I don't know about you, but the arms to the side, which is what it looked like on the replays, and it hits him here. I mean, I don't think he's trying to make himself bigger. I don't think that that's a handball, but we got the penalty. Michael Estrada put it away, so I'm happy about that. I'm also happy that he scored right on the stroke of halftime, although that was another lucky goal. In off of a deflection, I think the goalie easily catches it if it's not a deflection. Sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, though. We got the goal, and we were leading 2-0 at halftime, even though we probably didn't even deserve to be leading. I think especially our first goal was against the run of play, but it did go upwards after that. Our second half was definitely ours for the taking, and that's sort of when we took control of the match. But I do think that we need to create more clear-cut chances. We need to have a little bit better finishing, and I think we need to get our striker more involved. There were many times during the match where I saw Michael Estrada just sort of sitting on an island, not really getting the support from the midfield and the wingers. I think, you know, obviously we don't want our striker to be dropping in as deep as the CDMs, but obviously I'm also a United fan. I watch Ronaldo do that all the time. Harry Kane does it at Spurs. If that's what he needs to do to get more involved, maybe that's what he needs to do. Now we have all the negatives out of the way, or critiques. Not really negative, because we ended up winning 3-0, so we've got to be happy. But there were definitely just as many positives. I think we need to use Brad Smith to our advantage. He looks really good when he's driving up the pitch. He has great pinpoint, inch-perfect crosses. He looked really good. He's one of my new favorite players. I really liked the look of him. I think it's a great signing as well. We controlled the middle really well. Our midfielders looked really, really calm, composed. Andy Najar was, you can see why he's one of our better players, one of the more experienced players. He's certainly going to be, again, a very important asset to our squad coming into the new season. We played really good 1-2 passes. Our wingers made some fantastic runs off the ball, and I think we were very good defending on corners. But we do need to be careful, though, because they definitely had more big chances than we did, and Bill Hamid had a fantastic game, by the way. But they did have more, they did create more big chances, and good teams will put those away. So I think that's why FC Cincinnati will be a test to us, and we'll really see where our strengths are, where our weaknesses are. That's why I said that'll be a really telling game, especially away from home. Now let's get into some of the specific performances. Bill Hamid. So this rating will be out of 10. 6 will be the average, and I've gone with here. Shows up on the screen, lovely. 8 out of 10. Fantastic performance from Bill Hamid. Incredible performance overall. Made tons of saves from close range. That's one of the main things that I saw. And especially when I went to a few games in person last season, that's really something that I noticed. He's fantastic in one-on-ones. He has great saves with the feet. He saved every single shot that he faced, which is 5. 4 of those 5 shots that he faced were from inside the box. So they weren't just saves that were coming in, pointless shots straight to his hands. Many of the saves were crucial saves and could have cost us the game if they went in. But I think Bill Hamid was very important to our result. Moving on to Brad Smith, unfortunately I couldn't find a picture of him last night. So here he is in the Seattle Sounders jersey. I think a great signing. I'm going with another 8 out of 10. He's my new favorite player. I love the look of him. He reminds me of Luke Shaw from Manchester United. Obviously I watch them all the time. He looked really good carrying the ball forward. He had good recovery speed when he lost the ball, although he didn't even lose it much. But when he did, he had great speed to get back. He had great tackling. As I said before, inch-perfect crossing. We definitely need to take advantage. We definitely need to take advantage of having this guy on our team. And I can definitely see him being very important in our play this season. Next up is Steven Beranbaum, which was our left center back. I've gone with a 7 out of 10. He actually started the match not very good, but he did get better as the match went on. He actually didn't commit any fouls, which is always a good thing. He was 8 out of 8 on his aerial duels and 9 out of 9 on his ground duels, which is absolutely fantastic for a center back. He's looked really strong in the air, didn't make any big mistakes. I think he was the better of the two of the center back partnerships. I think he was better than Brendan Hines-Ike, which we'll move on here. Brendan Hines-Ike also had a decent performance, so we will go with a 7 out of 10. Almost, probably more in the 6.5 range, but you gotta round up. He looked shaky at times, but overall defended well. Got a yellow card, committed 2 fouls, but I think he definitely started the game stronger than Steven Beranbaum. Moving on to who started the game at right back, Julian Geiger. I've gone with a 7 out of 10 performance for him, so a lot of above average performances here. He looked good carrying the ball forward, again, similar to Brad Smith. He had really accurate, sharp passing, but I think he could play quicker at some times. He has decent crossing ability, and he definitely seemed more defensive than Brad Smith. Next up, we have a center midfielder, more of a defensive midfielder. We have Drew Skundrick, or Skundrich, I don't know exactly how you say it, but I've gone with an average score here. He almost made it to the 7 for me, but he just sort of seemed quiet at sometimes, but I think sometimes that's a good thing. He never really gave the ball away in key areas of the pitch. He was involved in most of our build-up play. Next up, Andy Najar. We're going with a 7 out of 10. He was definitely the man of the first half, man of the half. He just completely dictated the play. He had one good long shot that forced a save out of the keeper. He did get a yellow card. I noticed that he has tons of energy. He looked really strong despite being really short. He's a very technical dribbler. You can see why he's one of our key playmakers, and you can tell he's one of the more experienced players. He kind of seems like the Bruno Fernandes of DC United. He's going to be really important. He's very versatile. He can play pretty much anywhere on the back line. He can play in the midfield. He can probably play as a winger. He can play anywhere. So I really like the look of this guy, and I was really happy with his performance last night. Next up, it's another blurry picture, but it's Addison Flores, and we're going with a 7 out of 10. I think he was one of the more underrated players. I don't see many people talking about his performance, but he was quick on the ball. He definitely bursts into channels a lot. Came off in the 76th minute. Wasn't involved as other players. He only had 30 touches on the ball, but he looked quick. He looked like he was impactful. He made the most of the ball when he had it. So, yeah, there's that. Moving on to center attacking midfielder, we have Moses Newman. I've gone with a 6 out of 10. He almost made it to the 7, similar to Skundrick. He looked very confident for only being 18. I actually didn't realize that he was 18 until after the match when I was looking at his stats. I realized that he was actually 18. He looked very confident for being so young. He had very accurate passing. He often made runs off the ball as soon as he let it go. He'd make that 1-2 and then he made the run through the channels off the wingers. And again, like Addison Flores, I think he made the most of the ball when he had it. Next, we have Griffin Yao. I don't think he was particularly the best last night, so we've gone with an average score. I don't think anybody was below average. 3-0. He was average. Not terrible. I noticed that he cuts inside quite a lot and swaps with Newman in some areas, sort of becomes the center attacking midfielder. Newman would go out to the wing and sub points during the game. One of the more average players, subbed in the 82nd minute, which is good. He's only 19. But yeah, average performance from Griffin Yao. Now moving on to Michael Estrada, who in my opinion wasn't as good as, not as I thought he would be. Obviously he's going to take some time to get used to it. He looked sharp. I'm going to go with a 7 out of 10. You can't knock it. 2 goals. It's an incredible performance. He had an interesting penalty kick run-up, scored the 2 shots that he had, but the downside is he only had 20 touches and he only had 2 shots. So that's why I'm saying we need to get him more involved. I think he could have done a lot more, but he did only just join, so we'll let him off this time. 7 out of 10. and he never really dropped deep to receive the ball, like I said. But yeah, overall looked sharp, looked good. I think we can get him more involved, and he looks pretty promising. Now moving on to our subs, we'll go through this pretty quick. Ola Kamara, I've gone with a 7 out of 10. He made more of an impact than Estrada, in my opinion, looked more comfortable as well, had more shots than him, scored within seconds of coming on, although, again, it was a lucky goal. So we scored 3 pretty lucky goals, but I do think we deserved the goals, whether they came from luck or skill, doesn't really matter. I think we deserved 3 goals. Next, we have Sofiane Diefal. Looked really good and calm and confident as soon as he came on. He has a really good touch, something that I noticed, and he plays very accurate passes. And he actually looked taller than he actually is. I believe he's 5'8", but he actually looked pretty tall. Pretty good for a new signing. So 6 out of 10 for Sofiane Diefal. Now, moving on to Chris Odoi-Atsem. I've gone for a 6 out of 10. Right back, CDM, center back. I wasn't really sure where he was playing when he came on, but he looked really fast. I don't really have much to say about this one. Only was on the pitch for about 15 minutes. He came on the 75th. Next, we have Adrian Perez. 6 out of 10 is what I've gone for him. He makes good runs off 1-2 passes, and again, only was on for about 14 minutes, came on the 76th, so not much to say there. Same with Azad Liadi. I've just gone with a 6 out of 10. Again, not too much to say. And that concludes the match review for the match against Charlotte FC, a 3-0 victory for DC United. I will see you on the match preview for the away fixture against FC Cincinnati. Thanks for watching.